Welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel, that is the R in the RK Stumbling Bear, and I'm a reader and a writer. And I am back to do my pile of possibilities for the amazing race that is going to be coming up here in June. This year, Bree has given us the main leg prompts, but not in the order they're happening. And then after each leg of the race is announced, that's when the sightseeing prompts will also be announced. So as I'm a slower reader, I don't know if I'm going to be getting to a lot of sightseeing prompts, but I do like knowing what my main prompts are, because that helps me plan a little bit better, make sure I have things ready. Options. I like having options, hence pile of possibilities. I also like the adjustment that has just been announced that whatever book you're reading gets counted towards the current leg. So again, as I'm a slow reader, if I'm still working on a prompt from another leg, I'm going to still submit it on the current leg, and that way those points tally up. I like this better in a competition kind of style. Oh, and I am on team Steel Watchers. So I don't think I have any actual steampunk books, but it was the one that appealed to me most. So getting into my pile of possibilities for the prompt of cozy, I think I'm going to be going with A Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Singdu Mandana. This is a contemporary magic romance, from what I understand, about a woman who agrees to go teach these little witches. And normally in this society, witches aren't supposed to be together because it can be disastrous. Yeah, this is kind of what I'm leaning towards. However, my other option is the Baby Dragon Cafe, which I have been on hold for at my library forever. I am the first actually on the holds because they have not gotten the book yet. I don't know what's going on or why it's taking the library so long to get books in, but there's several books that I requested back in January that it still says on order when it comes to my library. Who knows when I'm going to get this in? But if the Baby Dragon Cafe does come in June, in time for this prompt, I probably will read that one just so that I can get it back to the library. And if I remember the premise right on that one, somebody makes a baby dragon cafe, but doesn't realize, baby dragons aren't the best behaved, so they cause lots of fires. And then somebody gets this brilliant idea, like one of her neighbors, hey, I will train you to train my baby dragon, and love results. For the violent word in a title, I'm almost 100% certain that I'm going to be reading Finley Donovan is Killing It. Why, do you ask? Well, because this has a main character who's a mother, and that fits my WIC Readathon bingo card. So it's been on my year TBR for a while. This seems like a perfect time to, what they say, kill two birds with one stone. So, and this is a woman who is in the middle of a divorce, writer, talking to her agent about a murder mystery concept, and then someone thinks that she's serious, gives her a proposal of doing a murder. But if for some reason this doesn't work for me, because contemporaries don't always work for me, I have These Burning Stars by Bethany Jacobs, and this is a sci-fi space opera concept. I actually don't know too much more about it. However, Bethany Jacobs is up for the Astounding New Writer Award. The Astounding Award is usually presented at the Hugos, but I believe it is separate, if I remember right. But that means I want to read her books, and she has 2 out currently. in the same series, so this is my second option for violent word on the cover. The next prompt is a book with low ratings but that you think you will love. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be reading Kazuna, How to Lose a Spaceship and Still Go Places by Jamie Watt. I was introduced to this last season for the self-published science fiction contest. Yeah, I was introduced to this last season for the self-published science fiction contest. Unfortunately, it didn't make it further in the contest because it is a team judging thing. But I was so intrigued by what I'd read, I bought myself a copy, but I haven't had a chance to actually read it. I actually have this chosen for one of my Buzzwordathon prompts too. I think it's actually for this month, currently May. But better read it, later than not at all. I have absolutely no clue the idioms I'm trying to say today. However, if for some reason this does not work for me, another book that I think possibly could and has low ratings, I forgot to say, this only has 10 ratings, so more people should definitely pick it up. And then another one that could work for me would be Sleeping Worlds Have No Memory by Yaroslav Barusukov. This is one of the novels that was nominated for the Nebulas. Nebulas being voted on by industry professionals, so other writers, oftentimes get books that aren't well known. And this only has 152 ratings on Goodreads. So it's very much a possibility. Then for the prompt of takes place in a large city, which is ironic since my Team Still Watchers bonus prompt is isolated settings. I have chosen The Lies of Lacamora by Scott Lynch. From the synopsis, I'm pretty sure this is taking place in a large city. I could be wrong though. And this is on my These Books Will Explode list this year. So it seems like a perfect time to pick it up. And what I know about this is Lacamora has grown up in a thief mercenary thing. Yeah, and this book is going to be about pulling over a con of some sort. But if for some reason that doesn't work for me, some other options are Fathom Folk by Eliza Chan. I had actually tried picking this up a few months ago. Had other priority reads, didn't get a chance to read too far into it. I think I got 2 chapters into it. 2. And this is taking place in a large city. This is an interesting world where you have magic and normal people, and you have a city that's on land and a city underwater, and not everybody always gets along. And it has dragons, so yay. And if that doesn't work, I have actually a third option. I have The City of Last Chances by Adrian Tchaikovsky, which this series was also nominated for the Hugos. So at least want to try the first one, and I know this first one is about a city. The next prompt is shorter than my last read. Now, we don't know the order these prompts are coming in, so I can't guarantee what my read before that is actually going to be. So there's a lot of things that can work for this. However, I do know that my typical reading sweet spot is 300 to 350 pages. So I'm just going right now with my options of novellas. I have The Brides of High Hill by Nevo, part of the Singing Hills series. Also was nominated for the Hugos. I could also read What Feasts at Night by T. Kingfisher. This is like a gothic horror novella. Also was nominated for the Hugos. I promise this is not me just promoting the Hugos, but I'm taking advantage of the prompts that I've been given to read things like that. For the next prompt, I have green color or green cover. So I think that I'm going to be reading The Blind Light by Stuart Evers. And This is a historical fiction. This is a chunky book, so I am glad the change in the prompt legs has changed. It's also my exploding book list for this year. I'm not even sure how I picked it up. I think somebody must have given it to me. This also is tentatively on my WIC Readathon prompt as just a nice long book. However, historical fiction doesn't always work for me. So, my second option is The Oleander Sword by Tasha Suri. And this is a second in her trilogy following Priya and Malini, as they have now gone their separate ways and are trying to figure out how to reach their goals. Also, the series was nominated for the Hugo's Series Award. Again, I'm totally taking advantage of my options. Then we have the prompt over the top color. Maybe I misheard this wrong, but I thought that she had said over the top color-wise on the cover, or just like an over the top cover, like it's a busy cover. So I have some options, of course. I have Ocean's Gadori by Elaine Cho, which I have been wanting to pick up for a while. I bought this last year when it came out and just haven't read it, but I think that this, you could say this is like an over the top cover. And this is a kind of space opera, someone helping someone else out, having conversations about colonialism, if I remember the synopsis right. I have another option of Orphan Star by Alan Dean Foster. This is a book my dad gave me a long time ago because he thought I should read it. It has some nice, bright, vivid colors. Not necessarily a really busy cover, but like the color of these colors are over the top for me. Not usually colors I gravitate to when I'm picking up books. And I know nothing about this because this is one of my dad's books. Another option would be The West Passage by Jared Pachik. He has also been nominated for the Astounding Award. I've seen this book for a while, and I have an ebook copy thanks to the Hugo packet. This is another option for me. And I don't remember a whole lot about this. What I do remember, I'll talk about here in a little bit because I have it as a possibility for another prompt. All right, for prominent romance. So it doesn't mean that has to be the main plot. There has to be romance somewhere. I've mentioned some books that, fit for that. Like this has a romance in it. According to Goodreads, this has a romance in it. But I think what I've narrowed down to is All the Tides of Fate by Adeline Grace, which is the second in the duology, which means I would finish a series. It's also my Reddit fantasy bingo card. This is a world where people have magic. However, every island has their own specific magic, and the main character in the first book finds out it's been engineered that way. That was not actually how it used to be. And lots of big reveals. I can't say too much about the plot of this one, because it's really continuing on from the first book. Or another option I have, it talks about it's at least tagged as a romance in Goodreads, is The Best of All Possible Worlds by Karen Lord, which is also my buzzword-a-thon, prompt choices because it has an animal on the cover. And I know that Angela from Science Literature Alliance loves Karen Lord. Actually, in her Discord, someone picked up a Karen Lord book and was like, oh, I don't even remember what it's for. I just remember your love of it. I think it might have been this one. But yeah, so this is a possibility. Then for the prompt, celestial or godly word in the title. I've got some fun options. I have The Faithless by C.L. Clarke. Yes, faithless is a godly word because you have to have a god or something to believe in to not have faith in it. And also in this world, there are gods, except where Luca is from, they have gotten rid of their god, which is why they're the faithless. So It works, it does. And then if we want to go for more the celestial, my other option is Unconquerable Sun by Kate Elliott. I have been wanting to read this for years, keep picking up from the library, and I've always had other priority reads. So we will see if I get to this or not. But this is supposed to be a gender-flipped retelling of Alexander the Great set in space in a queer LGBT style. Then the last prompt we have is chilling cover or winter setting. Now this is where The West Passage by Jared Pachek comes back up, because when I was creating a list of possible prompts, I remember in the synopsis it talked about a winter setting. I was like, oh great, I want to read this book anyway. So I have this one more tentatively set for the winter chilling. But another option for this is also Cold Eternity by S.A. Barnes, which is one of the 2025 new releases that I'm interested in picking up. And I haven't had a chance to read it yet. So if I'm able to get it back from the library in time for this prompt, I could very well choose that option as well. So those are my pile of possibilities. Are you also participating in the Amazing Race Readathon? The Amazing Readathon? If so, I'd love to know what team you're on. I know that there are 4 competitive teams, and then there's a 5th non-competitive. So if you don't want the competition, you can still participate. And I thought that was a really cool addition this year. Also, if you have read any of these books and you're like, no, I don't think it would actually fit for the prompt you think it will, please let me know. Or if you have read something that I haven't mentioned as a pile of possibilities, but you would like me to consider it, let me know down below as well. Would you be interested in me vlogging my Amazing Race experience? Especially since we don't know what the sightseeing prompts are, and maybe I will read something fast. If you would, let me know down below. But if you have nothing to say and you just want to leave an emoji to let me know that you were here, go ahead and leave me an emoji of a backpack, since we're going to be on an adventure here soon. Thank you, and have a great day.